all the lights from red to green. This memory could stop my heart, imagining what might have been. Your whisper hits me like a roar, your sigh like a hurricane. I can't stop myself from needing you. Tea sacred from the profane. Energy flows through our bodies, yeah. Don't let this night ever end. As long as we're dancing, you're with me. I know I can't just be friends. Time goes on while we keep moving, intertwined the whole night through. Never felt so good before. 3 a.m. and I'm high on you. Something in the way you kiss me makes all the flames look 10 feet tall. We greet the sunrise with our love. Nothing here is wrong at all. Your touch is a violent rush. Your lips send a spark through me. I can't stop myself from craving you. Heart beating desperately. Energy flows through our bodies, yeah. Don't let this night ever end. As long as we're dancing, you're with me. I know I can't just be friends. Time goes on while we keep moving, intertwined the whole night through. Never felt so good before. 3 a.m. and I'm high on you. I can't keep it in, I'll let it out. Just let it out, will you? Now that I've met you, can't go back. Please just say yes, we can be free. I can't keep it in, I wanna let it out. Just let it out, will you? Now that I've met you, can't go back. Please just say yes, we can be free. Energy flows through our bodies. Don't let this night ever end. As long as we're dancing, you're with me. I know I can't just be friends. Time goes on while we keep moving, intertwined the whole night through. Never felt so good before. 3 a.m. and I'm high on you. When Hannah first died, I was desperate not to be alone. So for like 9 months after, I just dated all sorts of wrong people. This guy that was married, I didn't even realize he was in a relationship. I'd hang out with him and his friends, and none of them ever mentioned her. And I also dated 3 guys in my office, so that was a really fun company Christmas party. Anyway, I went on this long trip to try to clear my head, and I met this guy in Croatia, and this other guy in Croatia, and 3 guys in Namibia. Well, actually, that guy had a threesome with him and his cousin, so I guess it was 4. Anyway, then I met this Swedish guy in Prague. We met in our youth hostel at breakfast, and an hour later, we got on a train together, and we got this little house, and I thought to myself, if a guy like this would just fall for me, I'd be okay. And then it turned out he did like me, and that girl was just a friend. So we had this fairy tale romance, and I thought, he's the one. You know, other than being an alcoholic and a drug addict and living on another continent, I was obviously not in reality. Anyway, we went back to the city, and he was taking a nap before his flight home, so I went to the common room, and I met a new guy. I couldn't stand to be alone for 5 minutes. And the new guy and I went to this other town together, but he was like boyfriend material, so it was terrifying, and I couldn't even let him kiss me. I mean, I thought I was trying to look for the right guy, but at the same time, I was just scared to get involved with someone I could actually have a real relationship with. I mean, he was so nice, I thought I'd hurt him. I was picking out a present for my mom, and he wouldn't let me pay for it myself. And he was American, so I knew there was a chance it would actually work when we got back home. He wanted to fly me to Italy to meet his family, but I was worried he'd want to have sex there, so I said no. And then when I got home, I met Matt in this class called How to Meet Your Soulmate. Right. So already I'm thinking, that's part of the fairy tale. And he was tall and thin, he was a musician. I mean, he was exactly my type. He was a drummer. That's like my thing. Well, maybe until him, because after that I was like, no more drummers. I had like 20 of them in a row, all with the same issues. But at least I'm not that cliche girl of liking guitarists, right? Look at this picture of me and Matt. Wait, this is a different Matt, the one from last night. I have like 3 or 4 Matts. But anyway, that Matt, I was convinced he was the one. I mean, we had such similar ideas about spirituality, about dancing, about music, about adventure, about balance. We had the most insane, amazing sex. I mean, amazing sex. I never got tired of hanging out with him. But he was doing messed up things from day one, and instead of having boundaries and saying, that doesn't really work for me, I wouldn't say anything. I mean, I sort of thought, like, trying to change someone was a mistake because I had done that with my ex-husband and my ex-boyfriend, so I just tried to never give him any feedback about who he was, even if something was hurting me. And I just hoped he'd magically change on his own. And of course, that didn't happen. I remember just thinking, any normal girl would totally leave him for doing all this stuff. But I wasn't normal. I was fresh in my grief. So I was determined to be with him. I mean, I was not willing to end it. I mean, I basically thought, he's my consolation prize for losing Hannah. If I lose him, I have no Hannah and no relationship, just completely alone in the world. So I was determined to stay with him. I mean, think about it. If you're hungry and someone doesn't have food, does that mean you don't still have the need to eat? No, you need to keep searching for food. So I just totally lost track of myself. Advantage of my goodness, said you wanted my voice, then you told me I take up too much space. I love you, but you said I don't know what I want was the Ferris wheel I rode with you. I thought we were on a road going into the future, yeah, while in reality I was trapped in a daze in the Ferris wheel you brought me to. But when I stepped off that ride, I was standing in the same place. Round and round I'm spinning. The music and the lights shine. The rush of movement ushers on. It felt like progress, I thought, but I can't tell anymore. You told me you loved me too, but that was just the motion, the whirling circle of your web of you. And yes, you said, I don't know what one was the Ferris wheel I rode with you. I thought we were on a road going into the future, yeah, while in reality I was trapped in a daze in the Ferris wheel you brought me to. But when I stepped off that ride, I was standing in the same place. Round and round I'm spinning. You can take this ride alone. I'm getting off. You can pay for someone else. I've had enough. Spin your tails around. I'm not listening. I'll occupy my own space, find my own sunset. I don't know what I want was the Ferris wheel I rode with you. I thought we were on a road going into the future, yeah. While in reality, I was trapped in a daze in the Ferris wheel you brought me to. But when I stepped off that ride, I was standing in the same place. Round and round I'm spinning. I gave Matt an ultimatum. Move to LA with me or it's over. And he let me go. I didn't see that coming. And after Matt, I was just determined to find someone else right away, so I started dating people. I remember going on a date within days of ending the thing with Matt, and this guy was a very appropriate person. I didn't even get to know him that much. And he said to me, even on the date, "You're not ready to date." I mean, he's saying this to me on a date, but I just did not want to feel the pain of the end of Matt, and so I was going to find someone to plug up the hole that Matt left. I mean, I would try to look for a good guy, but I started chewing up and spitting out guys who I deemed morally questionable. I would just let them want me and just toy with them, act like I didn't know what they wanted. I did that with guys I thought were jerks or shallow. I never did that with nice guys. I would never even go out with nice guys because I thought I would crush them. So that just set the stage for me to get involved with Nate. And I didn't know that he was with Allie. And then when I found out, I guess I was just already too attached to him. And in his mind, having phone sex with me wasn't really cheating on her. He always used to say about her, well, she's not the one. She's not going to be the mother of my children. She's not the last person I'm going to have sex with. I'm thinking about you when I'm having sex with her. So I was like, he's going to leave her. But he didn't right away. So I just drew the line. And then he did break up with her. And then we had sex on my birthday. He finally admitted that he wanted me. And what did I do? I threw him away. I just wanted to win. And then the next day I went to Burning Man. And I met all these other guys, Alan, and Greg, and Henry, so I thought I had it all figured out. I said it was going to be a week of no sex, no drama. And instead it was sex and drama. I mean, I was just like trying to make up for every old guy with every new guy, and the disappointment was just piling up. And when Burning Man Henry ended it, I was moping around brokenhearted, and Nate just didn't let up. He just kept calling and texting and coming over, and finally he just wore me down. I mean, I think I thought I was in control of the situation because I wasn't sleeping with him anymore. And also, I thought I was better than him because he's a heroin addict. And all I like is Molly. And then I realized he was my heroin. And I was as powerless to say no to him as he was to say no to drugs. And he was as destructive as hard drugs to me. And he even said, well, I'm such an asshole to you, I don't even know why you put up with it. I mean, I think at first, his inappropriateness for me felt like something safe because I thought, well, I'd never really fall for this guy because he's so wrong for me. But once I started sleeping with him regularly, that didn't matter. I mean, it's biological. Oxytocin is released in a woman's body when she has sex with a man, and it makes her attached to him, regardless of whether he's got a car with one door that's a different color than the rest. I need that guy to go out and gather nuts and berries while I bear his child, you know? Nate saw my pattern. He said, You're a Cyrenne, a goddess who destroys men. I mean, he saw it before I did. He said, if I committed to you, you'd just dump me in a week. Like Daniel, and like Nick, and Tom, and other Nick. And Eric, and Alan, and John. I mean, I just had so many guys in my life. Guys I was toying with, guys I was in love with, guys who were just friends, guys who were in love with me, and I would just constantly get validation and attention and, leave them wanting more, that whole thing. Leave before they leave. And it was like each guy thought one thing. This guy thinks I'm sexy. This guy thinks I'm talented or beautiful or smart or funny, and had it all together, and I'm like almost okay. And, it was like, fuck. I am like an addict to men. And it's all so I don't have to feel my feelings. I can't handle the pain of my history. I just can't allow myself to feel that much sadness and disappointment. There's too much of it. It'll consume me. So I know I should take things one step at a time and feel my feelings and be in the present moment and all that stuff, but I just can't handle that. Cyrenne thrives on validation. But validation is fleeting. And that's why it's an addiction. Because as soon as I get the validation, I need more. And again, and again, and again, and again. It's never enough. I feel my destructive energy, taking pleasure in your struggle to resist. Negotiate all you want, don't bother, I'll win. It already happened. What goes around comes around. You can't handle what you sow. But you wanna reap the benefit, don't bother, I'll win. Already did. So basic, can't escape it, force of nature, I will win. It's an action set in motion, you can't stop it, karma wins. Karma, 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 karma wins. Karma, 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 karma wins. I feel your destructive energy, taking pleasure in my struggle to exist. You can't plead your case, don't bother, I'll win. It already happened. What goes around comes around. You can't handle what you owe. But you try to talk your way out of it, don't bother, I'll win. Already did. It's so basic, can't escape it, force of nature, I will win. It's an action set in motion, you can't stop it, karma wins. Karma, 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 karma wins. Karma, 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 karma wins. And on the other side, let's be honest, I won't be waiting for you. 'Cause at the end of the night, you're just a challenge to me, a prize, a conquest. It's so basic, can't escape it, force of nature, I will win. It's an action set in motion, you can't stop it, karma wins. Karma, 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 karma wins. Karma, 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 karma wins. It's basic, can't escape it, force of nature, I will win. It's an action set in motion, you can stop it, karma wins. Karma, 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 karma wins. Karma, 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 karma wins. I guess we'll let you go. So, if I'm hurting people to get validation, does that give me bad karma? Or is it about karma I've inherited and I'm just perpetuating it? The thing about Nate is he was just like my ex-husband Daniel. Sorry. He was just like my ex-husband Daniel. I thought I'd feel better if Nate would just commit to me. But Daniel had done that, and I didn't feel any better. The problem is I'm going outside to get something I should be giving myself. External validation will never be enough. Let's go a little deeper. My ex-husband was gay. I wish that was a figure of speech, but it's not. My mom said, absolutely not. He's just like your father. You know, my dad probably was gay. Which would be, pretty funny, except he died of AIDS. I was 15. I had no idea he was going to die. I got off the plane home from boarding school on the last day of 10th grade, and everyone came to the airport and said, Papa died. I sat in the front row at his funeral, and I didn't let myself cry because I thought that's what he would have wanted me to do, because he never showed any emotion. I mean, would you if you had so many secrets? And then after the summer, I just went back to boarding school and didn't tell anyone what I was going through. I just kept it locked inside. And then at the end of the year, we were supposed to write this essay about ourselves. So I wrote about how my dad had died, and then we had to read it out loud. And everyone said, oh my God, how could you go all year without telling us your dad died? But just like Papa, I had so many secrets locked inside, I thought I needed that wall to survive. I mean, I even had a boyfriend, and I didn't tell him my dad had just died. So that's just the way I handled everything. Why? I don't want to tell you why. I was molested starting when I was 5, and by people that lived with us in our house. And because of that, I just associated anything physical with being gross and being forced and having no voice. I had no idea how to stand up for myself or set boundaries. And the thing is, it's not like I really want to tell anybody that. That's kind of just nothing I want to talk about. But I know that I'm not alone. And I don't want to be just another person who stays quiet about the truth. Every 107 seconds, a sexual assault occurs. 68% of sexual assaults are not reported to the police. And 80% of assaults are committed by someone known to the victim. I don't want to be just another person who doesn't say anything. But it's still kind of weird that I didn't tell anyone. So I looked it up, and I found out that 52% of children who report mistreatment are still being abused a year after the disclosure. So I think I kind of had this sense that maybe nothing would change, even if I did say something. But still, it's kind of strange, and I realized that unfortunately that wasn't my first experience with being hurt. My earliest memory is of being choked. My mom was pregnant with my sister at the time, and so she wanted me to take a nap, so she put me in my crib. But I was never tired because I was like one of those kids that had tons of energy. And so I stood up, so she screamed at me to take a nap, and when I didn't do it, she grabbed my neck and shook me. So that's my earliest memory. And just like the other thing, I don't really want to come here and, put the blame on my mom, but because that's my earliest memory, just for as long as I can remember, I just thought, I'm bad. And so I'm stuck. Here I am again, twisting myself inside out to please you. never learn. I'm caught up in the darkest place, rope so tight that I can't escape, a crack of light that I'm trying to chase. I just want to cling to your embrace. 'Cause your love's been following me so long, I'm caught up in the middle of trying to please and dying to be. And every day you're making me feel so small, but I'm caught up in the middle of trying to please and dying to be. Mama, don't let go. I won't survive that emptiness. I crave you. Just torture me. It won't work. This is too intense. I know I ought to leave, but I'm on the fence. I try and I can't make sense. I just can't stand your indifference. 'Cause your love's been following me so long, I'm caught up in the middle of trying to please and dying to be. And every day you're making me feel so small, but I'm caught up in the middle of trying to please and dying to be. Dying to be, and dying to be, dying to be, dying to be. Don't leave me lonely. When you're really young, you're not separate from your environment yet. So if bad things happen, you just believe that you are bad. For as long as I can remember, I just believed that I was bad. I thought that was my karma. And like I said, I really don't want to say anything bad about my mom. I mean, yes, she had anger issues, and she didn't know how to cope with stress, and she thought that my father wasn't helping her enough. But what I really believe is it comes down to the cycle. I mean, her father definitely had rage issues. I remember him yelling and screaming at my grandma, so I'm sure he did that to my mom growing up. This stuff gets passed on from generation to generation. 30% of abused children later abuse their own children. And 2/3 of all people in treatment for addiction were abused during childhood. And 80% of 21-year-olds who were abused as children met criteria for at least one psychological disorder. So I'm really not unique. Before I learned how to seek validation from men, I had another addiction, anorexia. 40 to 60% of people with eating disorders were abused. After my parents split up, we moved around a lot, and I started taking diet pills in 5th grade. And I lived with my father, so he sent me to all these psychological evaluations, and after Christmas, I got shipped back to my mom. I had no continuity in my life. I mean, I went to 5 schools in 2 years, and I just tried to make sense of all the chaos by controlling my body. I ate so little that I'd fall asleep in class, and everyone at school knew that. All my friends would constantly try to get me to eat. My father thought maybe I'm diabetic because I kept losing weight, even though the year before he had sent me to those psychological evaluations when he caught me taking the diet pills. But part of being anorexic is that you lie. You don't tell people what you're really doing. It's kind of a weird disease, honestly, and it's really hard to recover from it. Everyone in my family is constantly on a diet. Even when my grandma was 93 years old on her deathbed, she didn't want to eat too much because she didn't want to get fat. Hannah and I were like, I think that you should eat something because you're going to die in like 3 or 4 days. You might as well live it up now. Might as well eat that green Jell-O. Anyway, so the last time I went to the hospital was when I was 23. The doctor did a chest x-ray and said, you could die of a heart attack. When you don't eat, what happens is your body just breaks down any muscle it can to have calories, and that includes your heart. So a lot of anorexics die of heart failure. So I had kind of a shitty childhood. I developed an eating disorder. My dad was in the closet and died when I was 15. And then I repeated the cycle by marrying the wrong person. So when Hannah first died, I thought, that proves it. I'm bad and I'm being punished. That's the simplistic understanding of karma. What goes around comes around. If bad things are happening to me, I must have done something wrong to deserve it. But what really started to shake me out of that thinking was seeing how much all of Hannah's friends suffered when she died. There were 500 people at Hannah's funeral. 500 people stopped their lives to honor Hannah. They couldn't all be bad people who deserve to be punished. And I still don't know, is there an order to the universe? Did you die for a reason? 6 years gone by, I found a way to live, found something to live for. But your absence is still a black hole. I don't understand, did it have to happen? Was it something I did or didn't do? Is the world full of randomness? And all I can do is react in the best possible way. I thought I'd lose my mind or step into traffic, dissolved in a puddle of tears, hollowed eyes on a subway full of strangers, frozen without you. 6 years gone by, I found a way to live, found something to live for. But your absence is still a black hole. I don't understand, did it have to happen? Was it something I did or didn't do? Is the world full of randomness? And all I can do is react in the best possible way. I thought I'd lose my mind or step into traffic, but your absence is still a black hole. I don't understand, did it have to happen? Was it something I did or didn't do? Is the world full of randomness? Dissolved in a puddle of tears, hollowed eyes on a subway full of strangers, frozen without you. So I started to think differently. Instead of believing that every bad thing that happens to me means that I am bad. I mean, I certainly wouldn't be able to tell any other 1.5-year-olds, you deserve to be choked. So why would I accept that for myself? What made the difference? I hit rock bottom when Nate wouldn't commit to me. Remember Nate? Grief isn't linear. I kept going outside myself to try to fill the void and escape the pain, and that seeking led me to writing music. Creating art does heal. It's validating myself from within. Hannah was a philanthropist. Not only was she getting a double master's in nonprofit management, she did all kinds of fundraising for charities, and she volunteered with the homeless. Hannah didn't get to continue her life, and that wasn't her choice. I'm the one who survived, so I have an obligation to fulfill my potential. I need to make a difference. Did you know that 50 to 75% of convicted drunk drivers continue to drive on a suspended license? The guy who hit Hannah was driving with a suspended license. And every day in America, another 28 people die as a result of drunk driving crashes. So obviously that doesn't work. People always ask me, did the guy go to jail? He did not go to jail. But even if he had, I've never believed it's about throwing him in jail. I mean, after people go to jail, they're even more likely to commit crimes, so how does that help? If he drives drunk, he's probably addicted to alcohol, just like I'm addicted to validation. I mean, everyone knows you're not supposed to drink and drive, right? Or hurt your kids or use people. But we all have unconscious karma. The shit will hit the fan. I mean, do you think my mom thought she was gonna hurt me? No, she thought she was gonna be the best mother in the world. Did I think I was gonna hurt people? No, but karma is more powerful than intention. As long as I'm in unconsciousness about my stuff, I'm a loaded weapon. Just like putting a drunk person behind the wheel of a car. Someone's going to get hurt. Ever since Hannah died, I've gotten more and more committed to healing. I mean, as long as the outside doesn't match the inside, I'm going to be in pain. What I believe is that karma is a negative cycle that we're stuck in unless we choose to get out. What I can do is leave the cycle by changing myself. It's definitely not the most convenient thing, but I believe it's right, so I choose to follow it.
All the colors in the sky faded away. So don't you go. How could you say that this isn't right? I've waited all day for this spark to light. Last two. I know we all feel this burning inside. So how could
light. I know we all feel this burning inside. So how could you say that this isn't right? Thank you all so much for coming, and thank you for being my percussion orchestra. Yeah, okay, what do I want to say? This is the end of my run. I'm really grateful to my tech people up there. I'm really grateful to my producer and co-writer and friend, Jonathan Baker, who surprised me by coming tonight, which is really nice. And I'm also really grateful to my co-songwriters who couldn't be here, Jason and Jerome. And I'm grateful to you guys and everyone who donated to my Kickstarter campaign for this show, and obviously to my sister and my father. Let's see, let's go hang out together after this. And if you want to take the music home with you, there will be CDs in the lobby, and I love you all.